The water, I go near to the mountaintop where I know there's been snow, and I know that water's running down, and the energy, you can see the energy running in that flowing water. And this is, you know, I collect my water. We are 70% water, remember, so check where your water's coming from. Check at least that it's a high pH. Even, I don't know, I mean, I having lived in England, I know that in some of the department stores, they will actually state the pH balance, and you need to really be making sure that your pH is above 7%. Then at least you know that your water's doing something for you. You're going to actually, you know, with good water, you'd be so surprised how much we actually absorb. We say we drink a lot of water, and a lot of us will actually expel that water straight away. But when it's actually good water, your muscles actually absorb that water. So you take that in, and you find you may be drinking loads of water, but if it's great water, you're not getting rid of it as much, and your body is actually using that. So there's a lot more to things, and it is very simple, but we do need to study, look, check things out, read the labels. As boring, as small as it's getting on these packages, read your labels. You know, read what they've got, because they're sneaky. They put everything in. Sugar is the cancer. Sugar is the cocaine. You know, and they sneak it in everything. You know, salt, they sneak in everything. You know, I heard the brethren talking about salt and how we've adjusted, because we do need to now put in salts, because our foods are so mineral deficient that we need to now make sure that we're actually getting all our minerals. And many of us don't even know about the manganese and the different things. So we need to actually really start looking into what makes this amazing, all of our amazing temples actually tick, because you are a healing machine. You don't need to go to no doctor. And then most of you, I'm sure, if you've been to a doctor recently, you'll see he'll spend very little time looking at you, and he'll spend more time checking whatever he's checking, and then he'll prescribe. He's not prescribed nothing to do with what the problem is. He's maybe touch the symptoms, but the source is still there. So we know that we've got to be dealing with the source. So don't rush to those doctors, because sadly for them, they don't know. You know, many of them will admit, you know, okay, the Rasta man is the ganja man. We've been saying it all along, how it is your medicine, it is your medicine. All of a sudden now in the UK, they've decided that it has got medicinal properties. So we know we can't trust what exactly they tell us. I'm not saying that all pharmaceuticals are bad. I'm sure that their intention somewhere along the line was good somewhere, but then money takes over. So we've got to really, you know, if you are prescribed something, before you take it, check up the side effects, because there's no point taking one thing to then have 10 things to cover the side effects. So if they prescribe you something and you feel that you have to take it, check up the side effects, or check what the alternative is that might even at least cut half of the side effects. So then you've got a half of a chance, because it's a money game. The health service is a money game now. It's not about curing people. They've got to keep going. They've got to keep the pharmaceuticals have got to keep going. They're losing hand over fist to cannabis now. So it's a war. They've got a war on there now. So we've got to really be conscious and make sure that we are looking after ourselves, because they ain't looking after you. You are your healer. Remember that. You are the one who's got the amazing body. You've got the machine that no other machine can match. Every one of you, even as a herbalist, I know every single person is individual. I can't prescribe for you what I could prescribe for the next person. So we've got to really get to know ourselves and take control of our health, and then we're standing a chance, and then maybe we can then, all of us together, raise our vibrations, and, well, we don't know what we can achieve from that. Yes, I. Well, again, the brother's asking me about oats, yeah, and
I'll repeat for the people that may not have heard me. I just asked our brethren here about oats and how it works on our bodies to eat oats with, for example, soya milk or with haver milk. There's all different types of milk.
Okay, well, two of my enemies you've mentioned there, oats and soya milk. Oats, for me as a Sebian, is something that creates a lot of mucus. Now, mucus is one of our major enemies. Yep, so for most healings, if we can deal with the bowel flora, which is the stomach, because a lot of healings will start off in the stomach, then you're halfway there, and then you've got to get onto the mucus tract. And when you're taking in oats, the oats are coating your mucus tract. So if you have got some form of disease, then that mucus is then keeping it in, and oats will help that. Soya and soya milk, because of the production of soya, GM, we don't know where the soya is coming from. The amount of estrogen in soya has caused many problems. Female as well as male. You've got male, young guys now who are growing, chest as such, and getting a lot bigger because of the extra estrogen within the soya. And females, we're having a lot of problems with early menopause and menstrual problems and things like that because of the estrogen. So there's a lot that we need to really look into. Soya is sadly one of the products now that people need to really look about, because there's not a lot of goodness within the soya. It's been messed around and messed about with far too much now. So, and then as I say, oats, if you're going to go with oats, you've got to try and look for the most organic as possible, preferably if you know someone who's growing. I mean, we're blessed that we're around farmers and things like this, so we know people who grow various things. So if you can find someone who's growing it, then you're helping yourself a lot more. Okay. Yes, I.
Greetings, Brenda. What is your opinion on the use of other salts, like more natural salt, like Himalayan salt and Celtic salt?
Okay, Himalayan salt. I mean, salts, yes. Again, we've touched on how we need our minerals, and we can come very mineral deficient quite easily. Again, now we've got the thing with Himalayan salt. I feel is a better choice because of the problems with the sea now. You've got plastics in the sea, so your salt is now mixed with plastic. You don't know if you got salt or you got plastic. We've got a lot of issues with pollution in the sea. Fukushima with the radiation in the sea. So again, there's if you look at things around, and then because my choice used to be sea salt, I do like pink Himalayan salt, but then I'm not sure about the collection and the damage that's doing and how that's, so that is now my preference. But again, I'm conscious, and I would like to make sure that it is pink Himalayan salt and not another product that may have come out of the Asian quarters that may not be what it's saying it is on the packet. Any more questions?
Yeah. I was just telling my girlfriend there's a show in the Dutch television that actually goes to the root of these types of products, like Himalayan salt, for example. And I like these types of programs because they really they trap the producers in a corner where they cannot lie anymore about where it is coming from. Because Himalayan salt is now obviously, how just was mentioned, that there's this hype in yoga going on, and yoga is mostly for the muscular, the physical part of it. But there's also this hype in being vegan or being very conscious in what you're eating. And the industry also sees this, so they see profit, and then they give it a name, and there's this really complex things, or how do you say, regulations that they can manipulate and then call it Himalayan salt anyways, whilst it's not Himalayan salt.
Yeah, this is what we need to really be looking out for. I don't know, I mean, I don't want to mention any particular country, but there's certain countries that would plastic, you get plastic lettuces, you get plastic rice, you get plastic this, plastic that. So it's really, to eat organic, and I know the cost of it, but it's really becoming important now, because you may not even be eating food, you know, when you're buying stuff. So we really have to be careful. Herbs, you know, again, as a herbalist, I need to check where my products are coming from now, because I don't know. There's roots that they're producing out there that are not the stuff, or it's not got the qualities that they're claiming that it should have. So we really have to be conscious and start checking all of what we're consuming, because we are the only ones who are going to. They're going to sell you whatever they can. So if you're not checking, it's your body. They're happy. They're very happy for you to buy what, you know, every bit of junk that they sell. So it's up to us as individuals, you know, and you know, there's no reason why, and it's a bit of a claim, but there's no reason why we can't live in the hundreds and plus by just simply looking after what we consume, exercise, and the water. And through those things alone, we can live a long, long life. And then that is your prevention. You are actually, you know, as I say, your food is your medicine. You can live a preventative life just by living a natural, eating well, you know, having stuff. People say, yeah, but what is vegan? There's so many nuts, seeds, and different foods with proteins that it's amazing. Look it up. Look up, read. There's so much information out there, and we're so blessed. And then with this equipment, all the Vitamix and the blenders and all these different things, you can make amazing foods. You'll be so surprised. There's nothing you need to miss. If you want to call it ice cream, you can make your ice cream. If you want to call it a sausage, you can make the mixture for your sausage. All vegan, all naturally. If you want to make a burger, you can make your burgers, but all vegan and natural, because the equipment's there. So there's nothing you need to miss. You know, you are an amazing person. This is what I want to get across to everyone. You are your amazing person. You are your healer. And once you take responsibility for that and have faith in yourself, you know, once if a disease does decide to visit you, it is a visit. Don't take ownership. It's not yours. Don't ever take ownership of any disease that you feel that's been supposedly diagnosed to you. Why take ownership of it? It's not yours. We are not a disease machine. So if something's come along, it's not yours to take ownership. Get rid of it. Mentally is the first healing. So if you can believe that you can heal it, I don't care what it is. It could be the cancer of the 10th degree. You can heal it if you first believe. Yeah, and then the rest of it can come along. It might not be easy, but belief is the best medicine that we can ever have. That's why a placebo works, because you believe that is what they've told you you've got, and placebo has come in. So we're all amazing. We've all got the best machine that has ever been designed. We've just got to make sure that we fuel it right. So thank you.
Anybody else? Any more questions?
We were talking about the prevention of disease. So, like, if really somebody got the disease now, some serious stuff, I think it's really still with the food, everything manageable as long as the mind is.
As I say, with disease, there is always the source, and much of our disease is formulated in the stomach, in the bowel flora is the chat, and you'd have to rectify the bowel flora. So again, if for instance someone is cancer ridden, let's go to a very bad scenario. Now what you need to do is then, as I mentioned already, the blood, the mucus needs to be totally readdressed. Your blood, you can readdress your blood. You know, we have all our organs do mend. I don't know the years and however long, but within 7 years apparently our organs totally readdress. So someone who is like they've given up with them. The system's given up. You know, we've given up with you. I've worked with people and we've brought them back, but it is hard. You've literally got to cut everything right out and rebuild from the beginning. So that's the mucus and the blood. You cleanse the blood, you cleanse the mucus, then you slowly readdress, and it can be done. But there is a lot. I mean, faith, as Rasta, we know faith can move mountains. And once you've got the faith and belief, as I've addressed, we can deal with it.
Brother.
Blessed Lord, my Lord.
Rastafari.
Okay. Right now, I hear from the brethren that soya milk is danger for I and I don't drink cow milk also. So can my Lord advise us another vegan things for the body also need milk?
Yes, well, we need milk we have milk from many things. For instance, we use nuts. We have amongst the brothers here, we have an almond farm, and we make almond milk. From the milk, from the nuts, we crush, we blend down, we pour water, we get the almond milk. But we not only get the milk, we also get the flesh of the nut now. So from that, we've got a milk and we've got the flesh. We can make cakes, we can make biscuits, so we've got products. And you can get that from any nuts. You can get milk from rice. Yeah, peanuts, oats. Again, I mean, I'm not a fan, but oat milk. Yeah, cashew nuts. Some of these milks are amazing. Hemp is one of the best milks you can get. So there is a plethora of alternatives to cow's milk for one. I mean, don't know if anyone, but I call it pus. You're just taking in pus. Yeah, the pus of an animal is milk and cheese, pus, pure and simple. But there's alternatives with the nuts and seeds. You can make all different milks. Again, you need the equipment these days, so you need electric. If you live in an alternative world and you've got like solar and all that, you might have to make sure you get it at the right time. But you can definitely. You don't need to go and buy milk. You can make it, and there's a lot of alternatives. Again, look it up. Look up alternatives to milk, and you'll be very surprised. Yes,
How strong is the influence of healing fasting too? Because I heard that when people do a chemotherapy, for example, and they were doing a healing fasting before that, the chemotherapy worked much better. Like they were saying, like that basically the sugar is the main driver for the cancer to grow. And they said like when people are on fasting, then the cancer cells swing very low, while the healthy body cells swing very high.
That's right.
And while we are eating sugar, the cancer cells swing very high, and the normal healthy body cells swing very low.
True. As I've said already, cancer is fed by sugar. Period. Sugar feeds cancer. Now the brother's asking me about fasting. Fasting is one of the best things you can do, like intermittent fasting. And again, what the brother was saying was about how when one fasts, it's your natural body sugars come into play. Now your natural body sugars will actually are able to fight cancer. Once you're feeding again, the sugar, if you've added in man-made sugar, let's say, that is what it will feed the cancer. And once you're fasting, obviously you're not eating anything, so that subsides, and your natural sugars come up, all your natural chemicals come up, and that's what fights the cancer. All of our natural, as I've mentioned already, we are the healing machine, so we've got it within us. So as long as you're putting in the right foods, your healing mechanism kicks in. And then that's where, cancer, the reason why we get cancer is because it's the cells splitting. I don't want to go too deep into it, but mutation of cells. And it's a cell that's repeating itself. It thinks it's a proper cell, chemical cell in our body, and then it repeats, and then eventually cancer builds up. So if that cell can't metastasize, as they say, repeat, then your cancer will die. So if you don't feed it sugar, it cannot then start to grow. It will only can only shrink. If you don't feed it acid, it can't grow. It can only shrink. So yeah, we can. There's a lot. I mean, it's sad because they make a lot of money out of this cancer industry, and it's one of the I won't say it's one of the easiest industries, easiest diseases to cure, but it's a lot more curable than they tell you. So it is sad because a lot of them and a lot of people put a lot of effort into raising money for cancer, doing this for cancer, doing that for cancer, and sadly all that money is going into research of stuff that they already know. They know what cures cancer. They know we've got many leaves, for instance. I'm going to take up all the time in that, but we've got many leaves, sour sop leaf, even the good old olive leaf. We've got beer olive leaves in this country here. Olive leaf is one of the best teas you can drink. Brethren will tell you, drink olive leaf tea. Now, it's all about prevention. Start looking into these things. It's easier than the killing of ourselves that we're doing to prevent it. So yeah, I'm going to come off now, Carl. I'm taking up the mic for too long. But thank you very much for your time and your questions. I really appreciate it.
Yes. Give thanks to us, I word. Give thanks. Give thanks. Yes. So, any other questions? Observation, sharing. Rastafari, do you want to ask something? Yes, Rastafari, go ahead.
Rastafari. Sometimes we develop bad habits by cooking more food that we can eat at one sitting. Then we decide to refrigerate it. Then we wake up and microwave it. So there's a double jeopardy on both sides. And some people cook like for a week. Then you keep on putting small parcels and you microwave. If you get the wrong temperature, you might end up with a belly ache, a running belly, some kind of bacteria in your stomach. So it's not too wise to cook more than you can eat at one sitting. As Rastafari, we just cook enough to eat. Discard the rest or give it to somebody who needs food. So the common principle for I and Livity, which is clean and healthy, try cook enough. If you have excess, try call a neighbor and share, because the food is still good. Give thanks.
Yes. Rasaibi? We still have a few minutes, yes.
All right. Well, we go into the fasting and fasting and prayer. That is something that is universal and it's attached to all religions, all spiritual traditions in the world. There's none excluded who is not dealing with fasting. You know any who don't fast? All spiritual and religious traditions in the world share the fasting in common, which is one of the best ways to clean your temple. It's not only the temple, it goes, man is 3 in 1, right? And 1 in 3, the mind, the body, and the soul, and the spirit. So when we clean, when we fast, we can fast intermittent, like the man is saying. We can do it a few times per week, even 24 hours. Make a great difference if you put it into a routine. Even drink. You don't have to totally fast. Drink water. Just give your body a water fast or a juice fast 2-3 days per week. Wow, your body will love you for that, you know. Yeah, so the fasting, the prayer is something we all have in common, and we should really get into make a routine then of it, you know. Not just, make it a regular thing in your life, because it's really beneficial. Yeah.
Give thanks. And I would like to share something, and it's about we don't go too much into the chemicals, into the science. I mean, I'm not a scientist, obviously, but there is a little thing called enzyme in the food, you know, that often is kind of not really taken into consideration, but we should pay more attention to the enzymes. Enzymes is an element in the food that react with other enzymes in our body in order to activate our digestions. Okay, to make it simple, if we would not have our own enzyme reacting with the food enzyme when we eat something, maybe a plate of rice, it would take us like 12 hours to digest. But because we have enzymes, these enzymes make possible that we can digest a plate of rice in maybe 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. Okay. So why I'm saying this? Enzymes is something that it gets burned out when you cook. Okay. So at a very low temperature, I think is around 50 degrees, and so that's why it's important to take into your body raw food. I'm not saying only raw food, only fresh food. It's okay to cook, but make sure that you have the habit of having raw food, so that you don't destroy these enzymes. These enzymes are so important because they are catalysts of energy. The scientists until now, they did not really manage to find out exactly what an enzyme is. It is not a cell, it's not an organ. I mean, they don't really know exactly what it is. What they know is that it processes energy. It's a catalyst for energy. It's like they look at it and it looks like a vibrant spinning something into your body. So when the Rastaman say that we are made of the universe, of the energy of the universe, that is the closest way to describe this in a scientific terms. You know, that enzymes are like little engines of energy in our body. So when you eat raw, you take these enzymes, you know, and when you juice, when you cold press, exactly, when you cold press, you take these enzymes even better. Yes, because there is something that is called organic liquids. Okay, liquids like just regular liquids like water. Okay, and then there is organic liquids that is like juice, cold pressed juice. It is liquid with minerals, with vitamins, with all these elements and enzymes. So when you cold press your veggies, your fruit, you take in these liquids that basically drive the enzymes through your body, and your body can react, you know, producing more energy. That is why it is more vital. And into Rastafari Livity, the juicing has been always a very fundamental part of it, you know, like in many spiritual